Hey guys, I'm here to talk to you about pre-populating forms using custom URLs. We're going to go into a little bit of depth. I hope this helps and that you enjoy the video. Here's how it works. So the scenario is that you might be sending an email or text message out to someone that you want to have fill out a form. So let's just do an example. Let's call this a message to a tenant. Let's see, and we'll be requesting input on lease renewal. Now, we're using LeadSimple here in this scenario, and we're going to keep this pretty basic, but we'll just drop a few quick details here. So we have a template, and let's write out a quick message. Hello, tenant. We're just going to use what's here for the time being, and say, please fill out this form. All right, now here in this form, we can include a link to the form that we want them to fill, which in this case, we're going to use this example, which again, I'm trying to show you some generic information here. This is a unit or, an owner information packet. So this wouldn't be an exact application here, but it still shows the idea. Now we can take this URL right here, and then we can paste it in the message. Now that's great. It accomplishes exactly what we need it to. It sends the form, but you know what? It could be better, right? Well, how can we make it better? Well, very simple. We can go right over here and let's create a hyperlink instead. A hyperlink looks a lot nicer to me than just a regular URL that's been pasted in here. We can use the insert link icon right here. Had to hunt for that for a second. And now we can see that the text is hyperlinked. Now that's great, right? That looks a little bit nicer. But if I go to this form right now, all it's going to show is an empty form. Now, wouldn't it be nice, since I already know the address and some of the information that's going to live in this form, for me to pre-populate it? Well, that'd be pretty cool, right? Thankfully, it's very much possible, and you can do that using this tool right here called prepopulate.jotform.io. Now, this tool is specific to JotForm, and while I'm going to show you how to do this with this tool, you can also do this same thing with other URLs where you have a form or an input. An example of that might be Calendly or Gravity Forms or any other place where you're filling out a form. There's a few more steps to figure out how to create your custom URL, but here I will just show you what it looks like for this particular form. So we're going to choose, let's see, the unit intake form. All right, and you can see that currently it's showing all of the fields right down here. And then if we go up here at the very top and we say generate URL, it creates this value. Now you can see this URL is exactly the same as what we had over here on our display version of the form, right? Same exact. However, that's not really helpful, right? We want this to pre-populate some information. So let's just add in some made-up information. Okay, we'll say Main Street. We're going to use Houston because that's where I live. We're going to say built in 1990, zip code of 77070, and let's put in my name here. All right, so now that we filled out this information, we can go right back up here and hit generate URL again. Now let's take a look at what we've got. You can see here that we have the same URL, but then we have this question mark right here. And after that question mark, we start seeing information. Owner name first, equals Benjamin, then ampersand, then owner name last, equals Servin, ampersand. Now, can you see the pattern here? After the question mark, we begin the name of the fields and is equal to, and then the value that we want in that field. And then we have this ampersand, which shows us that we're going to the next field. All right, now we've got all this information, and that's great, but we need this information to automatically populate based on the process that we're running from. So I'm going to copy this URL, and we're going to go right back over here to our email for a few moments. And I'm going to copy this down. Again, you can do this in just about any software, but we're just going to use this as an example. Now, right here where it says Benjamin, well, the person I'm sending this email to, their name might be Joe. So I don't want Benjamin to live there. Instead, I'm going to use the field, or we're going to choose, we'll just use applicant 3 for right now, since that's what we've got here anyway. We're going to use applicant 3. And now you can see we filled in a custom field. Now in this custom field, I'm getting rid of any default values or any extra spaces. And in a few moments, I'll show you exactly what happens here. Again, I'm going to remove my last name and use the same field for the last name. All right, again, removing any extra spaces or formatting. Then over here, you can see property address, so ampersand, property address, address line 1 equals 123. And then you see this right here, percent and 20. Right, percent and 20 means there's a space. All right, you can see again, percent 20. And then right here is an ampersand, right? So we can pick up these context clues to see that this is going to indicate a new line. So for this section right here where it says 123 Main Street, I'm going to remove this and use the field for address. Again, I'm going to get rid of the default values here. Same thing over here for the city. Get rid of my default values. We're almost done here. And then property address state. Now you can see, this is interesting. I misread this, right? If we go back over to the form, you can see that right here, I read this section, oops, sorry, right over here, there we go. You can see it came through a little bit funky here. It says year built, where it ought to say, not year built, right? This should be the state. So that's a mistake, and that's something that needs to be updated in the form. But thankfully, we can still build this out and make it work exactly the way that we want it to. So for the sake of keeping this going, we'll go over here and we'll say the state should fit in this spot, not the year built. And then last but not least, the zip code. And again, you want to make sure that you get rid of the default values, any extra spaces or coding there. Okay, so now we've created this new URL. Always save your work so you don't lose it. And if we paste this, take this and we open up a new tab and we paste it, you can see that it's pre-filled in all this information, just the way that it should have. Address, city, state, zip code, first name, last name. Now, obviously, there's more information that we might have here, and pre-filling the information can go in so many different directions. In fact, there's some ways that we can make this information even more readable, where it's not necessarily just inputting into a form, but it's actually inputting into a message. So lots of cool things that we can do there. I hope this piques your interest. If you want to find out more, definitely join us in Processes Made Simple. We talk about all this technology as well as building really cool processes that your business can run on. I hope you'll join us. See you there soon.